Hey everyone, welcome to Fruition Garden. If this is your first time here, welcome to my channel. And today I am going to just do a quick video of me planting some potatoes, some fall potatoes. I've never done a fall potato crop, but I'm going to try it this year. And so I found a spot in the ground that I would like to try it out on. This is the area. I previously had a Cocozelle zucchini plant here, but of course that has died back and stopped producing, so I pulled it up and then I used this pitchfork here and I just put it in the soil and kind of just lifted it all up so I can break it up and get all the chunks out, get all the rocks out. As you can see, I put the majority of the rocks around the border. And I think it's nice and loose and soft enough where I can plant some potatoes in it. So I'm gonna go put my gloves on, gonna get my potatoes, and we're gonna plant some potatoes here. I'm gonna be using one hand, so bear with me. Set this here. So here are my potatoes that I'm going to plant today. As you can see, oh, pitchfork is falling. As you can see, they have eyes on them, which are these little plant things coming out of the potato. This is what happens when they're sitting for a while and you don't use them. These are red potatoes. I don't know what variety, like the actual name. The other potatoes that I planted, I bought the potatoes from like an actual potato seed store, and they were called Red Pontiac. So these could be that same variety, but I'm not sure because these are from the grocery store. But they are organic. And these are my gloves. So I'm going to put these on and then we're going to plant some potatoes. So stay tuned. Okay, so got my 2 potatoes. I think 2 is a good amount to put in this space. I don't want to overcrowd it, especially because I'm not sure how the potatoes will do. Since I didn't put any compost or anything in here, usually after I had something previously growing, I will amend it with some compost or some kind of, something like food scraps. But I don't have that on hand right now, so I'm just going to mix everything in. So we had some like more clay type soil deeper in the ground. So I pulled some of that up to the surface and mixed it with some of the topsoil that of course had like broken down wood chips, which is going to supply some sort of nutrients to the soil. So hopefully it'll create some new natural fertilizer for the potatoes to feed off of. And then I just kind of, as I mix up the soil, any chunks that I see, I'll just break them up like so. And I went down about 12 inches deep into the soil. So I think that we have it where it's loose enough for the potatoes to be able to grow to a good size. So that's pretty much it. And now I'm going to just smooth it out. And then I'm gonna do maybe one here. And you're always going to find more rocks. You want to get those out of the bed. And then I'm going to do one here. So I'm going to dig the hole. I'm going to dig the hole about, oh, my battery's going to die. I'm going to dig the hole about 4 inches deep. I'm trying to go quickly because my battery is going to die. And then take the potato. Put it into the soil. I like to put the eyes facing up so they get to the surface faster, and then just bury it. You don't have to put all the soil on it. You can always leave a little dip in the ground, and then as the plants come through, you can just top it off with more soil. So that's one. I'm gonna put the other one over here. Here's the other one. So whichever side has the most eyes on it with the plants, I'm going to face that up and then cover it. And then the last thing I'm going to do is just water it in, and then be patient and wait for those little green stems to sprout out of the soil, and then we'll be well on our way to having some fall potatoes. So that's it, y'all. I hope that you enjoyed this video, and until next time, I'll see you guys in the next one. Or I might actually add something else to this video where I plant some potatoes inside of a pot. So this is one of the pots that I want to grow more red potatoes in. I previously had some carrots in here. However, I didn't do a good job watering them. When you have things growing in a pot, it's important to stay on top of watering since they don't have that access to the ground. So I have a bunch of really small carrots in here, as you can see, which are still edible. So if they're a decent size, I do keep them, and then I'll just cook them and eat them. And they're really good. But, oh, this is a good size one. Kind of bigger than the rest of them. So yeah, I just kind of collect all of the larger ones because I don't like food to go to waste. And then the ones that are super, super small, I'll leave them in here. And they can actually act as the fertilizer for the potatoes that I'm going to be growing inside of this pot. So it actually works out great. Ooh, this is another pretty good one. Usually they get way bigger than this. Way, way bigger. But I was a little negligent. We had a very long dry spell, and I didn't stay on top of watering like I should. So as you can see, the soil is pretty dry deep down, so I'll have to do some watering. So battery is recharged. So as I was saying, that was actually yesterday. So now we are in a different day, and we got some rain the other night. So the soil is so much more moist. There's still not enough organic matter in here. So what I like to do is all of the greenery from the carrot, some of it is green, some of it has turned brown. What I do is I'll dig like a little hole, and then I'll bury it. Like this is all of the greenery that's turned brown. This is going to be excellent compost as it breaks down for the potatoes as they're growing, and it's also going to help to hold on to moisture so that when it rains, it doesn't just drain through the entire pot, because the soil is so like just fluffy and like a little too loose. This is going to add some girth, if you will, to the soil, a little bit more firm. So yeah, I bury it kind of a little bit deeper than how deep I plan on burying the potatoes, because I just want the moisture to hold in there. And it doesn't have to be perfect, just mix it all in. Make sure that they're not all on the surface. And then I'm going to dig my 2 holes. As you can see, there's lots of carrots. I took a lot of them out. I can salvage this one too. But dig the hole. And now I'm just going to plant the potatoes. And I'm also going to take out more carrots. If I see any decent sized ones, I'll take them out, because again, these are still perfectly edible. They were just a little neglected by me. So some people will cut their potatoes in half and then let them start to sprout. But I like to just use the whole potato. It's a larger energy source so that your potatoes can produce. But cutting it in half is fine too, as long as you make sure that it cures before you plant it in the soil, because you don't want it to start to rot or anything. And also, in the beginning stages, as they're sprouting, It's good to water them, but not to overwater because they can rot. And this is like the excess soil that I'll pile on top as it starts to come out of the soil. So, I mean, this looks pretty crazy, pretty messy. There's a bunch of like random carrots and it just looks like a mess, but it's all good because this is all going to be compost as it breaks down for the potatoes. It doesn't have to look perfect, although I do like beauty in the garden. Sometimes things just look like this, you know, and I'm okay with that. However, I do want to keep these. So these will not be compost, but the rest will. So I also want to put potatoes in this bed as well. So I'm going to go get 2 more and bury them here.